Welcome friends to another video, welcome to another review. This time around I'm going to talk again about my favorite niche house. This is Acqua di Parma, and the fragrance that I'm going to talk about today is Acqua di Parma Colonia Futura. The latest flanker to the original Colonia that came to the market in 2020. This Colonia Futura, it's a very impressive fragrance for me, mainly because it takes the original Colonia's DNA and transforms it in something a lot more contemporary if you want. Furthermore, it does manage to improve the performance in this lineup because these type of fragrances aren't, let's say, renowned for their incredible performance. But people need to understand one thing. This is the only house in the world that uses the highest percentage of natural ingredients. In the case of Colonia Futura, for example, just as Acqua di Parma disclaims on their website, they are using 99% of natural ingredients. Therefore, you need to understand that natural fragrances don't have the same performance like synthetic fragrances, or if you want, like a mixture from natural and synthetic ingredients. Therefore, this is why you don't always get the best performance with Acqua di Parma's fragrances. But it isn't my case, because on my skin, I never have issues with their fragrances, with a little exception called Bergamot di Calabria from the Blue Mediterranean lineup, which isn't bad, but because it smells so great, I would have preferred it to perform just like its other brothers, and that's the only exception. Colonia Futura was created in 2020. The nose behind this one is François Demachy, a very well-renowned and reputable name in the fragrance industry. This is a master perfumier. And we have a very interesting composition. We have in the top notes bergamot, grapefruit, lemon, and pink pepper. We have in the middle clary sage and lavender, and in the base we have vetiver. So a very simplistic composition, but at the same time very well done, very well blended, and actually very, very good, because all the ingredients inside this fragrance manage to create a very, very beautiful scent. It's very refreshing, it's very uplifting, it's very bright, it's very juicy at the same time, but also it has a very beautiful herbal aspect, a very green aspect, and also very, I would say, elegant, clean, and at some point even manly, without being that type of aromatic fougere that we all know, which brings that classic vibe to the table, or if you want, that, let's say, aftershave vibe. This is why I do believe that this fragrance is called Futura, mainly because it manages to transform the original Colonia, to transform the original composition into something more contemporary, adapted to present days, and also improving a lot, if you want, on the performance. Let's talk about this fragrance and how it smells. On initial blast, you get a huge bump of citruses, which isn't a surprise for me because I know how this house works, but might be to others. And what's curious, at least for me and on my skin, is that the bergamot is the top note in the opening. A very juicy, very zesty, very bright bergamot, completed by a very interesting grapefruit note. And what I mean by interesting is the fact that you won't get grapefruit peel if you want, you won't get the zesty pulp of the fruit. You actually get the bitterness provided by that, let's say, white membrane. When you peel off a grapefruit, there is that white membrane that's covering the pulp, which is very, very bitter. And this is what I actually get with Colonia Futura. And I simply love it, because combined with the zestiness coming from the bergamot, and combined with the clary sage, the lavender, and the vetiver, this turns into something very, very beautiful, very green, very herbal, and at the same time you get that zesty bitterness underneath. You also get some lemon and some pink pepper, but to be honest with you, on my skin they are not very present, very dominant. I do get the lemon. I also get a bit of pink pepper, which transforms this opening, as I said, in a citrusy, zesty, bittery bump, and it's amazing. It's if you want, you get a boost of energy when you first apply this fragrance. Afterwards comes the main actor of this composition, and this is the clary sage. You also have lavender in this one, but it isn't your typical lavender. It isn't overpowering. It isn't upfront like you can find it in some other offerings from the House of Colonia, of Acqua di Parma, sorry, like in, let's say, Colonia Pura, Colonia Futura's brother, or if you want in, let's say, Cipresso di Toscana from the Blue Mediterraneo lineup. No, this one is very subdued and it stays behind the clary sage, which is the main accord of this fragrance, combined with the vetiver. And you get a very beautiful herbaceous, very green, and if you want, it takes you with your mind to a trip in nature, in the woods, if you want, or in the fields. Well, why not? So very, very interesting, very beautiful. Everything assisted from behind, from the background, by that beautiful citrusy bump that toned down and is now supporting the main ingredients, the main actors. The vetiver in this one, it's also a very beautiful vetiver because it's very green, it's very sunny, I would say. It isn't your, let's say, dark vetiver, your earthy vetiver, if you want. You do get a bit of woodiness coming from the vetiver, which is simply amazing, but that's pretty much it. Clary sage takes the central stage with this fragrance. And I simply love it. I love green fragrances, I love aromatic fougères, I love this type of fragrances, and what I love about Colonia Futura is the fact that, compared to any other offerings, even from other manufacturers, this one is contemporary. It doesn't bring that typical aftershave vibe, at least not on my skin and not in my case whenever I wear it. Very, very nice. On me and on my skin, I usually get very good longevity with this one. I would actually say all the Colonia fragrances that I want. This is the second best performing after Colonia Essenza. Colonia Essenza is simply a beast type of a fragrance on my skin every single time that I wear it. But this one comes pretty close, so I'm very satisfied with the longevity that Colonia Futura gives me, but also with the projection and the sillage. So overall, when I talk about the performance of this fragrance, I'm very, very satisfied. I don't know on other people's skin what it does, but on me it simply works flawlessly, just like every single other fragrance from the house of Acqua di Parma that I own. When it comes to versatility and flexibility, how and when to wear it, I would say that this is a fragrance made for a gentleman, but ladies could also try it out. This doesn't mean that necessarily love it and wear it, but I do believe that they should try it out at least due to those citruses in the opening. But I would say this is a very elegant, very clean, very uplifting, very gentlemanly fragrance if you want. And I would say that you may wear this one dressed up casually, semi-formal if you work in an office environment, but also especially in formal conditions or at formal events. I wouldn't say that it necessarily leans towards a more mature crowd or audience. I do believe that younger people could enjoy wearing Colonia Futura, but taste is subjective whenever we talk about fragrances. So a very, very beautiful concoction from the house of Acqua di Parma. I highly recommend you to give it a try. I highly recommend you to purchase a sample, to purchase a decant if you have the opportunity, to test it out on your own skin, to see how it interacts with your skin's chemistry, to see what notes are dominant on your skin, to see what performance you get out of the fragrance, and only afterwards go ahead and purchase a full bottle. Always test before buying. This is my only advice that I could give you when it comes to fragrances. Also, the most important advice is wear what you want, when you want, no matter what other people say. If you love the fragrance, if you love the happiness that it brings to you, then that's the most important thing. Therefore, for me, this is an all-year type of fragrance. Yes, it's best suited for warmer or hotter weather outside, just like now, because we are in summer. But I would actually wear this one in spring, I would actually wear it in fall, and I would definitely wear this one in wintertime. Why? Because I wear fragrances when I want, whenever I want, because I want. Not because of what other people have to say. I don't care for other people's opinions, as long as I'm happy with the fragrance that I've chosen to wear throughout the day. Very beautiful, fresh, green, zesty fragrance. Especially good in this type of scenario, like you are seeing behind the bottle. And all I can say is just give it a try at least. Most definitely, if you love the Colonias from Acqua di Parma, you're gonna definitely love this one. and also especially if you love green fragrances. Highly, as always, my friends, I'm going to thank you for your attention, for your time. As always, I'm going to wish you to be safe, to be good, and remember, smell good, feel good. Peace.